talk on the cross-disciplinary program in data science and economics. I have several colleagues with us this morning, among whom is Dr. Denis Tkachenko, who is hosting who is part of the program committee along with me. I suspect many attendees this morning may have already attended an earlier engagement event in April, where we talk about how this program was conceived, what it's intending to address, and then how we shape the curriculum, and what are some components, interesting and relevant components in the curriculum. So I'll go through these portions fairly quickly, okay, and then leave time for questions. I imagine that many of you may still be deciding whether to take up this offer to join us in the XDP in data science and economics. We hope we would give you sufficient information to make a decision, and hopefully that decision will be that you will accept our offer, and then we hope to see you, as early as August this year. Okay, so do feel free to ask questions later on, or in fact, I think you can type in the Q&A and to clarify your doubts, okay, and so that you find out, as much as possible about this program. Should you have any questions after this session, my colleague Ms. Paris Ko will be able to collate your questions. All right, so please email her at parisco@nus.edu.sg, and she will then convey your questions to the relevant people who will be able to answer them. So let's get started. So this is a cross-disciplinary degree program, and it's as far as we know, it's the first of its kind in Singapore, and it's intended to address the issues that or developments brought about by the fourth industrial revolution. So in this context here, the XDP is intended to help align what you learn in the university with what you might need to do at work in the future. And the way the cross-disciplinary degree programs are conceived would be that its objective is actually to give students much greater flexibility in acquiring an education across two or more disciplines. In this instance here, the two disciplines being data science and economics. Of course, you may be aware that there are other XDPs, but that's not the subject for this talk this morning. And at the end of the day, we hope that we'll be able to equip our students with the ability to integrate knowledge across these two disciplines to solve real-world problems. So the keywords being integration of knowledge, okay, not just data science on its own, economics on its own, but the program is designed in such a way that there is tight integration. We demonstrate where the integration are, and then you get to work on industry relevant problems to see how data science and economics together help to solve problems. Okay, there are three relatively recent developments in economics and data science that shape the design of our curriculum here, and they are digital economy, financial technology, and digital currencies. This quote from TechCrunch, okay, illustrates some features of the digital economy. So in this instance here, what is being noted is that there are four large companies in the world: Uber, Facebook, Alibaba, Airbnb. Okay, Uber of course provides ride-hailing services. Facebook provides content, okay, media content. Alibaba is a retailer, and Airbnb provides accommodation. But what's curious is that none of these companies actually owns any asset related to their business. So Uber owns no vehicles, Facebook creates no content, Alibaba has no inventory, and then Airbnb actually owns no real estate. Okay, so what is happening here is interesting because the transactions on these platforms take place virtually. So that's in essence, an important feature of the digital economy. Clearly, it's related to economic activity, but what we have here is that the activity space is no longer constrained to be physical. All right, it is actually all these economic activity can take place virtually over networks, and what is being transacted, of course, are digitized, and because they are digitized, they can be stored relatively easily, and then these information or data can be mined, okay, to provide information to drive productivity growth. So that's the definition from the World Economic Forum and the G20, formally defining the digital economy as such. Of course, as far as we're concerned, we're just laymen. So what we do is that, or what we think about the digital economy is that these are economic activity that results from billions of everyday online connections among people, businesses, devices, data, and processes. And of course, we are all taking part in it, online purchases, online banking, and things as such. Okay, so where does data science come in then? Because this is economic activity. Data science comes in because everything is now digitized and readily stored. And so there's a lot of data to be used. And companies that engage in the digital economy have a lot of data that they can mine. And this is helping to transform how businesses are structured, how firms interact, how consumers obtain services, information, and goods. Okay, and the digital economy is a key pillar of the Singapore's smart nation goals. So it's important. It's recognized, okay, as one of our smart nation goals. So what that means is that there's going to be a lot of opportunities to work in this area. The second relatively recent development that drives our design of the curriculum is financial technology, or Fintech in short. This refers to the integration of technology into offerings by financial services companies in order to improve their use and delivery to consumers. So often, I mean, Fintech is thought of as a disruption of banking services. Traditionally, we have banks. They serve a certain portion of the population, but then it is unable to serve all the population. And of course, then there's part of the population that is actually left unserved, and that's where the disruption is happening, is taking place. So what is involved in Fintech? Machine learning, predictive analytics, as well as data-driven marketing, and what are we able to use these techniques to achieve? What can happen is that it helps to expand financial inclusion, as well as cut down operational costs. So some examples of products or services that arise from the broad umbrella of Fintech would be digital banking, robo-advisors, InsurTech, RegTech, and so on. So digital banking, perhaps, I mean, that's somewhat important or interesting to talk about. Many of us do our banking online these days. So that's digital banking. But of course, the impact of Fintech is not just on moving current customers from physical banking to online banking, but also to be able to reach out to people who are either unbanked or underbanked. So traditionally, with the old banking services, they are unable to obtain banking services because maybe they are too far from nearest bank, or the banks don't lend money that is of a very small sum and things like that. So what Fintech companies are able to offer will be services to the underrepresented population, basically, and providing them with banking services, for example. Okay, InsurTech and RegTech, of course, arises from the fact that more and more activities are moving online, okay? And then Fintech is creating disruption, and so regulation is a key part as well. So that's RegTech, okay, for compliance and anti-fraud. And insurance is also, jumping on the bandwagon to moving more things online, and then reaching out to customers who are traditionally unserved. Okay, so on the matter of digital banks, this is old news from December 2020. Singapore awarded licenses to several players to operate new digital banks in Singapore. And if you have been keeping up with the news, I think just last week, Malaysia also awarded licenses to operate digital banks in Malaysia as well. So there is a lot of development in Singapore as well as regionally. And the third recent development that helps to shape the curriculum is digital currencies. Okay, of course, many of us, I think, would be familiar with coins, particularly Bitcoins. Okay, and these are financial instruments that are traded or transacted on the blockchain, which is a digital ledger, and it itself provides a way to transact in a distributed and trusted fashion without needing a third party to provide trust for financial contracts and voting activities. So up until now, most of the activity in digital currencies has been more or less either unregulated or less regulated. So it more or less takes place on its own. But many central banks around the world are actually in various stages of trying to set up central bank digital currencies as well. Okay, so that's new development, and I think the program would prepare our students and put them in very good shape if they're interested in getting into this area. Okay, so this is the Cross-Disciplinary degree program in data science and economics. The degree awarded is the Bachelor of Science degree with honors. It's jointly offered by 3 departments: my department, Statistics and Data Science, the Mathematics department, both of which are in the Faculty of Science, and the Economics department in the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences, all under the umbrella of the College of Humanities and Sciences. So as far as we know, the tight integration that is characteristic of this program is the first of its kind in Singapore. So what we hope to achieve in this program is to equip our students with strong foundational knowledge in both data science and economics. Okay, but we don't stop there. We also equip our students with practical experience in the empirical analysis of economic and financial data. So when our graduates, go out to join the workforce, they will then be able to make effective policy and business decisions, anchor on data, and drive innovation. So it's data-driven decisions, and by doing so, drive innovation and disruption. So I've mentioned this already, tight integration of knowledge from data science and economics, and the curriculum was designed to address right now emerging products and technologies that include digital currencies, fintech, and problems in the digital economy. But of course, the program will evolve as different technologies and products emerge. Okay, so we'll continually evolve the program as is necessary. And another key feature of the program is that there are industry-linked modules and projects, plenty of them. So this is the program structure. If you had a chance to attend, I think, an earlier talk on the sort of overall CHS curriculum, okay, you would perhaps already understand that there are several components in that are required in the program. Okay, so in this instance here, because the degree being awarded is the Bachelor of Science with honors, this would translate into a certain minimum modular credit requirements. This in this instance here, 160 modular credits. That's the minimum. Okay. Most students, of course, would do exactly 160, but it's all right to go a little bit above 160 if there are certain things that interest you and you want to read those modules. Typically, a module in NUS is 4 modular credits. So nominally, 160 MCs refers to the completion of 40 modules. Among these modular credits, that one has to fulfill what is called the college common curriculum. Then there's, of course, the major requirements, data science, economics, as well as the integration between the two. And then what is then left over would be what we call unrestricted elective modules. So what are the various components? Under the common curriculum for the College of Humanities and Sciences are essentially 13 different components comprising 52 modular credits nominally, okay? So these are artificial intelligence, communities and engagement, data literacy, digital literacy, design thinking, writing, Asian studies, humanities, social sciences, scientific inquiry 1 and 2, and then 2 interdisciplinary modules. Okay, by nature of the program, it's cross-disciplinary, so the requirements for the interdisciplinary modules in the common curriculum are waived. Okay, for this XDP, the gateway module, the first module you take, okay, for this program is recognized as fulfilling the data literacy requirements, okay? So the common curriculum requirement reduces to 40 MCs, 10 modules, okay, from AI, C&E, digital literacy, design thinking, writing, as well as the 5 modules from both faculties, okay? And for the major requirements, there are 96 MCs or nominally 24 modules, okay? There are modules, of course, from data science, from economics. These are about 76 MCs, and then the integration between the two, that's 5 modules or 20 MCs. Okay, so what's remaining from the 160 MCs, of course, will be 24 modular credits, which students can use in whatever way they deem fit, okay? Many students, I mean, we have observed would, of course, use these UEMs, okay, for internships, for reading a minor. A minor in NUS is 20 modular credits, or even reading a second major, okay, which typically is 40 modular credits. So you would exceed the 160 modular credits, but that's a minimum. It's all right to exceed, you cannot go below. All right, so students who have the aptitude and ability can also consider reading a second major, even though this means exceeding the 160 modular credits nominally. Okay, so very quickly, these are the major requirements. Of course, there are foundations in various aspects, from data science, as computer science, mathematics and statistics, and data analytics. And then there's economics. And then we have cross-disciplinary modules, okay, particularly featuring modules that are specially designed to address the tight integration of data science and economics to address issues and problems in the digital economy, fintech, and digital currency. Okay, beyond classroom learning, there's also abundant opportunities for experiential learning, okay? These would include internships, which can be undertaken under the UPIP, Undergraduate Professional Internship Program, 12 modular credits when done full-time during a regular semester, 4 modular credits when done during the special term from May to late July. There is also a DSE capstone project, okay? This is compulsory 4 modular credits, but there's a top up to 8 modular credits, which is optional. Student exchange is slowly returning. So by the time you reach maybe the third year of study, that's when most students go on exchange. We expect student exchange to be in full swing again. And there are also a couple of data science sense-making modules. These are classroom hackathons. We bring practitioners to the classroom. They bring their scenarios and data to the classroom, mentor the students to ask, relevant business relevant questions, and then guide them to use what they have learned to solve these problems and present their findings. So these are various aspects of experiential learning. Okay, very briefly, career prospects. Of course, the program is new. We've just had one intake. So I really cannot tell you where our graduates have gone to, but data from data science, the data science program, and of course the economics program, which has been around for a very long time, would tell us that there are abundant opportunities to build a career that requires intimate knowledge and integration between data science and economics. Okay, and this is only a small list, a short list of what companies are out there hiring graduates, with both with knowledge in both data science and economics, including such entities as the CPF board, the Economics Development Board, the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of National Development. Of course, banking institutions would be interested in graduates with skill sets in both disciplines: consulting firms, investment companies, online retailers, and stock exchanges, which, as is evident in the data that we have from recent graduates in both data science and economics. Okay, so that's all I have. All right, and as I promised, I want to leave quite a bit of time for questions. Okay, so that we clarify as much as doubts as possible, and to help you make a decision. All right, so there is a question about the Utown College program. They have, I mean, from what I know, which may not be fully accurate, there are requirements over there. Some requirements are double counted towards the CHS common curriculum. Some are not, or rather, I should say, all are double counted, I believe. So they're mapped in one way or another, but we have had some experience in the last intake, in the sense that we present a certain sample study plan for typical students admitted to the DSE program, but students who are also in the college programs may have to make certain adjustments, to the study plan, because some of the requirements from the college programs are counted as interdisciplinary modules, which are typically read in the later half of the second year or even in the third year. But that is fine. I don't think it eats into your UEM. That's what I understand. I recall from last year. But that's something we can check for you. And then if you would email Ms. Paris Cole, we will follow up on that question. All right, Prof. Saw is with us. Prof. Saw is our Vice Dean. He has indicated he would like to answer the second question on aptitude-based admissions. So Prof. Saw, please.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Lim. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So on the questions on the ABA review, we are in the process of selecting the students, shortlisting the students for ABA review now. I can't give you the exact number, but typically the ABA review, the students going through programs is in the range from 20 to 30%. But we're still in the midst of still interviewing students. Now it's a very busy period. Yeah, okay. Okay, done. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Prof. So, there's the third question: being offered a degree in, so if you've admitted to the humanities and sciences course, or you have been offered to be admitted into the humanities and sciences course, you're not able to apply to this program. It's a yes and no answer. When you apply to the university programs, you can only get one offer. It's either, among them, if you are offered to be admitted to the humanities and sciences course, then you can't be admitted to the DSE-XDP and vice versa. But we realize students may change their minds. So students who are admitted to the HNS humanities and sciences course can have the opportunity to do a midstream transfer to the DSE-XDP. The mechanism of doing so, I don't have the full details, okay? I think a call will be made, okay, after 1 year of study, and then students want to move out of the HNS course and apply to join the DSE-XDP may apply, okay? Of course, there's the criteria to look at, the year one results being something that we look at as well, all right? And then I think there may be an interview, and so it may be possible to transfer from humanities and sciences to the DSE-XDP, okay? So it's possible, all right? So that's my answer to that question. Okay, there is another question with an offer to DSE as well as the NUS College. As far as I know, again, this is from my understanding, the NUS College has its own sort of curriculum, okay, which an emphasis on global education. And my understanding is that there are mappings between the NUSC, the NUS College requirements, and the CHS common curriculum. So if you are in the NUS College, what you do over there would mostly be counted into the CHS common curriculum. So essentially nothing is wasted, okay? For the purpose of fulfilling the data literacy requirements, DSE 1101, the gateway module for data science and economics, will fulfill the NUS College requirements for data literacy. Okay, so in relation to that, because of the fact that the common curriculum in CHS would be fulfilled by the requirements in the NUS College, there is probably no need to overload. Okay, there's nothing over and above that you need to complete in the college that will not already be counted towards the CHS common curriculum. Okay, so that should, go ahead and do it if you are interested in curriculum that gives you something more of a global view, okay, which is the mission of the NUS College. Then by all means, go ahead and do it, okay? And what you do over there at the NUS College will be counted towards the CHS common curriculum. Okay, there's a question about students who will be joining us after national service. Congratulations on completing national service, getting out of the way. I think Dr. Kachenko is typing an answer, but I'll also say something about it. Many of the modules that you take in the first semester have relatively minimal prerequisites. Minimal being that there's nothing more than what you already studied in your A levels, okay, in your H2 subjects. For example, the gateway module DSE 1101 introductory data science for economics requires H2 math, okay? And by nature that you are admitted to the program, you clearly have that. So that's not an issue. But of course, if you have been national service for the last 2 years, you may have forgotten some of that. Okay, so a quick review of, say, linear algebra and calculus will be helpful. Okay, vectors, matrices, differentiation, integration, a quick recap may be useful. Okay, and maybe Dr. Kachenko can say a little bit later on in a short while about the math requirements in that module, because he co-teaches the gateway module. Students also read in the first or second semester CS 1010S, that is in fulfillment of the digital literacy requirements. its programming methodology. I believe that has no prerequisites beyond math, I think. You do not need to already know programming languages, okay? But of course, if you have some time and you want to catch up, you can try to take some courses online and get a head start on Python. Okay, that's what is used in CS 1010S. But of course, there are other modules in the curriculum that may require you to use another language, R, which is also taught. Okay, when the module is being read. That module being data visualization. So not to worry. Programming will be taught. You will pick up at least 2 languages, Python and R, which are commonly used to do data science work. Okay, but if you want to spend some time to catch up on things, I would suggest catching up or refreshing on the H2 mathematics subjects, particularly vectors, matrices, as well as differentiation and integration. Perhaps Dr. Kachenko would want to add something to what I just said.
Yeah, so I as I kind of typed in my answer, right? I agree with Prof. Lim that you don't need to do anything special, right? But since you have been out for some time, you may have forgotten some skills you learned in JC. So I think the main focus should be on refreshing your math and statistics, especially, right? If you have done any statistics, I would refresh that, and that's about it. We don't have any requirement for programming skills, as Prof. Lim mentioned. However, if you have nothing to do, you have lots of free time over the summer, you may just, install R, Python, and just play around, just to learn some basic syntax. And there is many YouTube videos online. For example, for R, there is this project called R Coding School, right? So you can, but it doesn't really, it's not really necessary to do that, right? But if you just like to get comfortable with, how to add 2 numbers in R, then of course, so the main focus, as Prof. Lim said, would be to just come in with good fundamental skills that we expect from JC at the H2 math level. Yeah, because we don't really, assume any special requirements at DSE 1101, and everything that's needed for the class is taught during the class. And the language for DSE 1101 is also R, right? So in your first year, you will have exposure to both languages, right? Both have their strengths and weaknesses. And so we can't really say that, we're going to focus on one and not learn the other. But the good news is that there's a lot of similarities, right? So that's all I wanted to say. And then I think there is a follow-up question, which says, do I need to have a background in coding? And the answer is no, right? I mean, you are coming into the program and it's our job to give you a background in coding. So you don't have to have any background. Yeah, you just have to bring a curious mind and a good foundation.
Right. To add on to what Dr. Kachenko has said, from what we hear from students, CS 1010S is challenging, but certainly doable. You just need to work very hard, okay? And I also believe that CS 1010S has a regular version and an extended version. So students who think that they need more time, okay, to complete the various challenges in CS 1010S actually has half a semester more to finish it. So there's a sort of longer version, for lack of a better word, okay? It's to some extent, I mean, programming languages come and go, okay? Python is relatively new, maybe becoming more popular in the last 10 years. R has been around since, I think, in the 90s when I was in grad school, without saying how old I am. R was already in its previous iteration, the proprietary version S and S Plus have been around, I think, since maybe the late 80s or the early 90s. And of course, even before that, there are other languages. So languages have a tendency to come and go, all right? But the methodology in coding, okay, will stay with you. So it's more important to understand how codes should be written, okay, and then that proficiency will serve you well to pick up other languages. Okay, learning a programming language is somewhat similar to learning a language. Okay, some people are better at it. Some people have to work harder. Okay, but eventually we'll all manage. So not to worry.
Yeah, just to add, there's nothing like really special about it, right? So it's just a way to get things done, and eventually you learn it, right? And so it's important to, many people emphasize coding skill, right? But coding skill is not really that much of a skill, right? Because it depends on what you're coding. So it's important to bring the domain knowledge, right, to actually know what you're trying to do with the programming language, right? Rather than being exceptionally skilled at the programming language and not really knowing, how you should apply it.
Yes, so I think Dennis had answered one question on internships. Maybe I'll say a little bit about that as well. Actually, in terms of internships, they are quite abundant, okay? And I'm talking from the perspective of the data science and analytics program, okay, which started in 2016. So the third cohort is going out. That program, of course, predates CHS, and the requirements are a little bit different. But amongst the requirements is final year projects, which can be taken in the internship version, okay, and roughly 2/3 of the cohorts have taken the internship routes, okay, have been able to find and do the internship. So to put it in perspective, in the last academic year, because I have about 90 students in the program, about 60 to 65 of them have taken the internship route, and they have successfully found internships in either semester 1 or in semester 2. So positions are out there. The term data science is actually relatively new. So various different terms could be used, okay, but they are there, and the department, the program, as well as the Center for Future Ready Graduates at NUS, also reaching out to prospective employers, okay, to inform them on what programs are available in NUS, particularly the more recent programs, and what skills and knowledge graduates from these programs would have with them, okay, and therefore in that sense educates the employers on who they may be able to hire to do certain jobs. So not to worry. At the back end, we're actually also working quite hard in helping to bring awareness to the prospective employers about the programs that we have and what skill gaps these programs will address. Okay, there's a question about the difference between this DSE program and the quantitative finance course. Of course, there will be commonalities, but there are also differences. What happens, of course, I mean, again, the key feature of this XDP is the integration, as opposed to leaving. You learn the things and you have to somehow manage to integrate the knowledge together. I would imagine the quantitative finance course may go more in depth to the analysis of certain investment products, among other things, okay, which we don't do very much of in a DSE program. So there are some key differences. between the two programs. Okay, internships. I believe students can go out on internships as early as in year 2, after finishing, I think, 32 modular credits. And also if you go out in, say, so that's the earliest, but of course, if you go out for an internship in year 2, you would be relatively less prepared technically. Okay, so what you really want to get out of those internships maybe is to understand what happens in the workplace, how do you interact with people, and how does that interaction differ from an interaction with the professors in the university. Okay, so I think that's important, how to collaborate, particularly with people. But of course, as you move into the 3rd year and 4th year, and then your technical skills become better, then the nature of the internships can then be more focused on data science and economics. So students certainly have the opportunity to clock credit for internships in year 2, year 3, and year 4. Okay. Okay, Dr. Kachenko is typing an answer to the question on what kind of industries DSA students have been able to do internships with, and from our understanding, economics students, some economics students have also been able to find data-related internships. So while it's typing the answer, I think in industries such as semiconductors, okay, then of course the online retailers. So to throw out a few names, maybe semiconductors, examples of Micron, Infineon, semiconductor / tech, and then you have online retailers, Shopee, Lazada, and the like. Okay, and then you have Grab is another one, and then the telcos, Singtel, for example, StarHub. So it's pretty diverse in terms of the industries in which students can find internships. J&J is another one, okay? And of course, the usual suspects in ministries, GovTech, ministries and government agencies, GovTech, MAS, and so on. Okay, so as far as internships are concerned, there are credit-bearing internships and non-credit-bearing ones. When you do on your own, we don't see that. So for credit-bearing ones, the earliest you can do it will be in year 2. Okay, but certainly if you are in year 1 and over the summer break you want to participate in internship, you can do so. It just will not be recorded for credit. Okay, so I believe there's a poll, and then there was a question earlier about where this recording can be. I mean, where you can review this recording. It's on the College of Humanities and Sciences Facebook page. Okay, so please go to the CHS Facebook page if you want to view a recording of this session. There's a poll coming on, and so before that happens, if there's any question we didn't manage to answer today, or if you think of other questions, okay, you may send your questions to Ms. Paris Cole perisco@nus.edu.sg. Ms. Ko will help us to collate the questions and then direct them to the relevant people who may be able to answer them. I believe also there's a physical in-person open house this Saturday. Okay, so there won't be another talk, but there is a booth, there's a program booth on data science and economics. So if you prefer to come down, tour the campus a little bit, okay? You could also ask questions on Saturday, okay? Dennis, will you be there? I forget.
So I was put on the econ booth on Saturday.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I was just going to say that if you want to talk to me, you can come down to the econ booth 4 to 6 p.m. on a Saturday. That's
Right.
my shift.
Right. Okay. I probably will be there because I'm giving the DSA talk. So I'll probably be there from anything from 12 to 4, something like that. So I'll be floating around statistics, data science, and analytics, and data science and economics. So do, if you have time this Saturday, do drop by and say hello, and then there's an opportunity to ask questions there as well.
There's a question saying you have any words of encouragement for incoming students. I think it would be fair to say that if you talk to a lot of particularly economics alumni, right, which are in the industry these days, I mean, they would look back, they would look at this program and they would probably say, like, gosh, I wish, this program was around when I was in school, right? Because what basically happened is that they finished the usual econ degree, but there was no machine learning or any this kind of data science specific skills on the curriculum. So they had to basically work a lot on their own to bridge this gap, right? Either during their honors thesis, right? I supervise many honors theses where students basically also kind of self-taught an entire course in like machine learning in the space of 1 or 2 semesters, right? So I think the encouragement should be is that finally there is this option that can, give you kind of the both sides, which are attractive, right? I mean, the industry traditionally views economics graduates as, attractive for this kind of roles, right? But now that you come in with the skills on the data science side that are tightly integrated with your economic domain knowledge, right? That would make you much more attractive, right? And it will be a much less painful experience for yourselves, right? Because you wouldn't be kind of wandering in limbo and trying to think about how do I bridge this, computer science class I took to econ, what works, what doesn't work, right? That element of uncertainty and extra work is basically taken care of by this degree. Yeah, so I think, the guys who are right now out there in the industry would be very jealous that you guys have this opportunity to, study in this very structured and integrated way.
Right. I think we only have the data from last year, which is the indicative grade profile of the incoming cohort from last year. I mean, the intake is very strong. So we fully expect, everybody to do well, okay? And then there are job opportunities out there, abundant job opportunities. So settle into university. The first semester may need some adjustment, but work hard. I'm sure all of you will be successful. Okay, I think that's all the time we have. So thank you very much again for joining us this morning. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you for all the colleagues who have helped to set this up. And if we hope to see all of you this August or next August, okay, if you are doing NS, and if you drop by on Saturday, drop by to say hello to Dennis or myself. So thank you very much. Bye-bye.